Theo, this is so great to finally meet you again, man. Like I said
Thanks,
earlier,
man.
this is so full circle. And because we're on the topic of the Sabres, I want
Yeah.
you to know I've seen the full Theo trio. I've seen the Sabres, I've seen Bruton, and I've seen Come With Me.
Wow.
I
Three
just
very
watched,
different films.
yes, three very different films. I wanted to ask you first, like, how fun was it working on the Sabres with Adam Scott and Danielle Deadwyler? Like, I already know that that's said. It looked a lot of fun, and they seem like such
Yeah.
lovely people. I love their work.
Danielle's my people. We did Carry On together and we just got
Yes,
really
yes.
close. We have the same agents. I just think she's truly one of the most extraordinary artists on this planet, one of the most unique humans. So once I knew, okay, she's in. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. And then Adam was producing it and Kevin called me up and we talked about it. And I was like, okay, let me, because he was telling me about it, but I couldn't
Yeah,
really understand what he was saying because
right.
it's a strangely complicated movie
It
in like
is.
the
Yeah.
what, yeah. Like, you sometimes you hear about a movie and you go, oh, that reminds me of this. And you go, okay,
Yes.
that's this movie. There was no comparison. I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. So then
Right.
I read it and and I was like, whoa. And then I realized who
Yeah.
was involved. And then I
Hmm.
got, I was able to get Perlman to come in and play his dad, which was an
Hmm.
amazing scene in the beginning. And,
Yeah.
Greg Kinnear and David Diggs and everybody who came
Yes.
in was just so extraordinary in the film. And it's truly this incredible ensemble piece of actors. And
Hmm.
Nazanin, and, getting to play my sister.
Yeah.
And we just went and knocked it out, and that was in December of last year, and then
Okay.
we had our premiere at South by. And Kevin
Yeah.
is like Vincent on Bruton and like Aaron on Come With Me. It's like this singular writer director
Hmm.
vision of like, hey, one source, bring it to me, tell me what you want, let's do
Right.
it. And
Hmm.
and we were able to pull that magic trick off in Saviors, but I absolutely loved it. I had never and I don't know if I ever will be, part of a film that was so you don't see coming. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
The
like you're
ending had
like,
me shook. The ending
yeah, you're
literally
like,
had us like,
what?
huh? Me and my friends
Yeah,
were like looking at each other because this was, I think, one of the last films we had checked out for the day, and we were like, dude, what the
yeah, like what is
heck?
going on here? And then, so for me, when I'm playing that role, it's like, you know, from like a young age, there's versions of like, what some people who understand would be called code switching. Like you got to be
Right.
this way,
Of
and then you got to
course.
be
Of
that way,
course.
and then you got to be
Yeah.
that way. And with
Yeah.
this guy in that movie, it's like he's got to be this way because he's
Hmm.
protecting this, and then he's got to be that way, and then he's got to make up a story because they're getting a little concerned, so he becomes this way, and then at
Hmm.
the end you realize it was all because of this, and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa. So I was playing like all
Whew.
these different characters in one
Yeah.
character, and I thought that was really cool.
Man, that's incredible, man. Yeah, the energy was just so electric, though. I love how many people came out to support it. It was basically a full theater at that point. It
Yeah,
was incredible.
every
Yeah.
screening there. Yeah, South by is amazing.
Yeah, it's such an amazing film festival. I want you to know one of the first projects I saw you in was actually The Penguin.
Oh, thanks.
Starring as Dr. Julian
Yeah,
Rush.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Were you
yeah.
always like a comic book fan? And like, how was your
Always.
experience working with Kristen Milioti?
Oh man, always a huge comic book fan, mainly
Yeah.
Batman when I was young.
Hmm.
Really obsessed with the Dark Knight comics, anything Frank Miller, The Long
Yes.
Halloween, like all Jeff Loeb's run. Like I just love Batman. We all,
Yeah.
everybody does. Batman's just such a spectacular character because he's kind of not good, he's kind of not bad, he's kind of just like,
Yeah.
complicated, right? And we
Right.
love that kind of middle ground one where they're,
Mm.
and I think that's why it's been so hard to adapt Superman because he's such like a good guy.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Right.
we need that little bit of darkness in them of like, oh, wait, this could get ugly. This could get bad
Mm.
with them. And they almost seem to be enjoying it. And Batman always, so then obviously we've seen all these different versions of Batman. And then
Right.
when uh Pattinson did his Batman,
Pattinson. Yep.
yeah, Matt Reeves and I had done a movie Cloverfield years and years
Yes.
before that
Yes.
I did
Yes.
with
I'm well
Matt, a
aware.
small role in that.
Yeah.
And JJ produced it and Matt was the director. And then
Hmm.
I did this movie, Emily the Criminal, and Craig Zobel reached out to me. He was a huge fan of Emily the Criminal. He told me he was doing this show called The Penguin that he was directing, and he
Mm,
really wanted me to play this character.
mm-hmm.
Um, the show changed a lot.
Yeah.
I was knowing and figuring out who I was, and then we had the strike during it, and I
Mm,
was just very fortunate to be with Kristen because it was like watching a master class. She was so great as
mm-hmm.
Sophia Falcone, and
Yeah.
to be like that little voice on her shoulder being like, you can do
Yeah.
this, you can be
Yes.
the worst person
Yes.
and you can do this, and like to watch her embrace her power and
Mm,
rise up was like so cool. And
magical.
I had a similar experience on Luke Cage, and I had a similar
Right.
experience in Sons with
Yeah.
the Gemma character. And
Yeah.
so being a part of it. But the coolest thing for me with doing the Penguin, and still to this day, is like we shot on the same stages of like Batman 1 with
Oh
Pattinson. So we were
wow.
in Arkham. Like we were in the
Yeah.
Arkham stages. And I remember
Yeah.
thinking, like, how cool is this? I'm in Arkham Asylum. And like
Right.
here I am, a kid who read comics about this. And now
Yeah.
I'm like in it. And it's just wild stuff. Cool.
Man, I mean, it seems like it's such a great series, and I love your work in it, man. It's awesome.
Thanks so much.
Has any of your
Thanks.
past work inspired the characters you play for newer projects, like the most recent Theo Trio I just brought up?
Um, I think that you kind of learn, it's a 10,000 hours business. So you kind of learn
Right.
what works, what doesn't, right? So you
Yeah.
start to go like, oh, I did this in that project and that didn't really work. It's not that the character's the same, it's certain techniques work better than
Mm,
others in certain situations. And you kind of take a little piece of each one,
yeah.
and then you kind of craft this thing, and hopefully in one of them it all comes together. And I think that
Hmm.
I've been doing this a long time now, and that
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm learning something every single time. And what I learn more is not what to do, but what not to do. So like
Mm,
I learn, like as I go through, I go, oh, that didn't work, I'm not going to do that anymore, and then I shave that off. And then I
right.
go, oh, that didn't work, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then eventually you get to what you need to do,
Hmm.
because and such is life, right? You're not
Right.
really learning in life what to do, you're learning what not to do.
Mm,
And that's what gives you the to learn. It's weird as it sounds, that's what makes you learn what to do, because oh, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't eat that, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't stay out late, I should sleep more, I should. And then it
yeah.
informs you how to be the best version of yourself. That also goes with being in any type of art, in anything, in doing interviews, in
Hmm.
writing. You start to learn, oh, that didn't work, this did work, and then you
Right.
learn what does work for you, and we each
Yeah.
find. So each project, every one of them, even bad ones, good ones, great ones, worse ones, they all make me better.
Yeah, that's such an incredible take, man. And given that, actually, it really sparked up another question. What is the biggest lesson you've learned, being in the business for such a long time, like, and going through all these sets and experiences and having these different people you looked up to and now you're working with them and things of that nature and being in these different work environments? Like, I'm really curious to know what's the biggest thing you've learned, if you could really think of it on the spot.
Yeah, I think it's that you can never let any type of work that you do define who you are. Like you
Mm,
can't let the work, in two ways. You can't let your work define you, because you're you, and your work has such a chokehold on how you operate
mm,
emotionally, right? Like who you are as a person. So I had to learn to disconnect my person from the work in a way. Like there's
mm,
me, who I exist as a father, I have two kids, my wife,
right.
I live on
Hmm.
a ranch in Texas, I have a bunch of animals, like I
Yeah,
exist
it's
as
incredible. Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
then I have to exist in the work. What I've
Mm,
learned from the work is that you can do anything if you
right.
just give yourself the ability to be fearless. You have to be able to fail. And I have been so okay with failing
Oh, same.
that I fail all the time, and I love to
Mm,
fail
mm,
because it's the only way you can succeed. So I
yeah.
like to take really big risks in what I'm doing, because and play all these really different characters
Yeah.
that I want people to never think he's ever the same. I want them to be like, wow, I did not
Mm,
see that coming. And if I can do that and I could take those big risks by playing these different characters, that's how I'm truly going to succeed. Even if the movie or the TV show or the whatever doesn't succeed on the level of certain things like the Penguin or things like that, even if it's just something that I did, I've
right.
succeeded because
Your
I
own
took a
project. Yeah.
risk. Yeah, I
Yeah.
took a risk.
Hmm.
And for me, that's, again, such is life. Like you have to take giant risks because if it's not hard, you're not doing it right. Like it's got to be
Mm,
hard because that's where the reward is after it.
right.
If it was easy, you hear that if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Everybody
So
would do it, right?
everybody would do it. So when I see really hard stuff or really hard projects, or I read something, I go, "Ooh, that's gonna be a rough one." I go, man, not a lot of people would do this. And I'm like, that's what makes me want to do it more. Because
Yeah.
it's like I really feel when things are hard, like that's when I'm at my best.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, man. That's so incredible, and it's just crazy how far like life can take you, and you like look back, especially, and like you're the younger version of you.
Of
It's so
course.
interesting. Yeah, what I wanted to ask you, this is actually a Bruton question. So the
Sure.
editing and the storytelling, mainly the narration pieces and that style of storytelling, are some of my favorite elements behind the film. What inspired you all to want to produce and make a true story like this?
I think that, for me, the main reason was I want to be, regardless of the backdrop of where he was at in prison, I always want
Yeah.
to tell a complete story of a person, meaning like if I can jump into someone's life and see that turn where they became from who this person was here to who
Mm,
they're going to become, right? So
yeah.
I get to jump and span whatever 11 to 13 years of this guy's life,
Right.
and he's this guy in the beginning and he's this person at the end. I think that's extraordinary, right? That I get to
Mm,
be able to go through the changes by witnessing and learning and researching their life, that they're not, this person is so different from this person. So
mm,
that's incredible. And then honestly, the backdrop of prison has always been really intriguing to me because I think that it's something that we as people, it's very easy to not look at it nor discuss and just put it out of our minds, right?
mm,
Regardless if there's however many millions of people are incarcerated, it's very easy to just go, well, everybody who's in there is guilty, and I'm just not going to think that.
right.
And
Yes.
it's just like, and I'm just going to go about my day. And, and the truth is, then when we hear those stories of people who have been exonerated or people who are in who aren't necessarily guilty or people
Mm,
who got 30 years for something that they should probably have gotten 6 months for. And it's like when you see those things, you're kind of just like, whoa, that sucks for them. But it's like there's so much trauma and all this stuff. And then more importantly, in this film, there are more kids outside of prison who have parents in prison than there are those parents are in prison, if that makes sense.
yeah.
There's like
Mhm.
millions of kids because a lot of people who are in prison have multiple kids, and
Right.
their kids are suffering. And
Hmm.
it's like, to me, I love that this story explored, like it's not just one person going to prison when something goes wrong, it's the whole
Right.
family goes to prison, even if they're not behind
Wow.
bars. They're
Yeah.
all
And
in
that,
jail as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. That
It
relationship.
might be one person serving the time, but they're all in jail as well because they're not with their father, they're not with their husband, they're not with their person, and they're suffering in the same way. They're worried every night. Is
Mm,
that person going to get killed? Is something going to go bad? Are they going to get out?
wow.
So it's like I love that we get to learn that
Mhm.
story too.
That's incredible. I mean, the relationship dynamic between you and like the daughter, I don't know the actress's name,
Yeah,
but the
Caden,
daughter,
the older
yes,
daughter. Yeah,
like you guys' dynamic is so good in the way that she's longing for him and like really is
crazy.
trying to like it's wild. I was
Yeah.
like, this is so
I
good.
know. It really wrecks you. It's like so like it's so emotional, and it's like
Yeah.
that you don't see that coming. And I think that was the most surprising part of so far, of now that the film's, coming out and getting out there, and
Mhm.
seeing how emotional people are about that aspect of it is like, whoa, cool.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. And really like one of my last questions, because I know
Sure.
you got time, but what is some advice you would give to any upcoming actors and actresses that are really trying to like get their name established in the business? Because even on an indie scale, it can be tough, even when they're trying to start their own production company and submitting
Yep.
all these auditions and getting rejected. I mean, what's that
It's all
idea?
hard.
Yeah,
It's all hard. It's never easy. Has it
yeah,
gotten harder in certain ways? Yes. It's gotten a lot harder, and in certain ways, it's gotten a lot easier. Meaning
yeah.
that we didn't walk around when I was younger, 20 something years ago with phone with cameras in our pocket. We can now film really beautiful stuff with
On
our
the
phones,
iPhone. I
right?
mean, like
On an
28 years
iPhone.
later, like
Yeah,
you literally
gorgeous
see those
stuff.
shots. Yeah.
Really, really great stuff on your phone. We did a lot of footage, in Bruton that he did with his phone, all
Oh
that behind the
wow.
scene. Yeah, all that stuff when the credits roll is all footage from the phone, right? So it's like,
Wow.
yeah. So that is an incredible asset. And you have to take advantage of it as a young actor. Now, the other thing is you also have a platform. I don't care if you have 28 followers or 20 or 280,000 on social media, you
Hmm.
have a platform and we
Hmm.
never know what's going to catch fire. So you get to play the lotto every day. But the
Right.
only way you're going to do it is here's the thing that I tell a lot of young actors. If you do
Yes.
nothing, nothing happens. But if you do something, there's a chance something's going to happen. So what you have to do is go out and make your own things. Everybody goes, yeah, that's easy for you to say. You're going to get money. And totally, I agree. But here's what you
Yeah.
can do. You can go get a few tripods. And if you don't have tripods, put it on books or a piece of luggage. And you could literally go shoot scenes with your friends and you can put movies together and you can write a script and you can make a movie. And even if you go, well, it's not the greatest movie in the world. You just learned so much of what not to do when you made
Hmm.
this movie.
Yeah.
So go do schedules, go make a movie, go
Yeah.
figure out what the budget is, even if it's only $5,000. Go shoot
Yes.
in a friend's house, go get a bunch of like minded actors, create
Yes.
your community of people. Find your friend who's a cameraman, find your friend who's a
Mm.
writer, find your friend
Yeah.
who wants to produce, and like go make your films.
Yeah.
And again, just start. They say that what is it? The two best times to start were when you first thought about it and didn't do it, and right now. Like
Wow.
you have to start right now. And my
Yeah.
thing is like, don't wait. We this life, you're lucky. If you're lucky, you have 80 summers, right? In this
Oh
life. You
wow.
have 80
Yeah.
summers if you're lucky.
Yeah.
You have to just do it. So if you're an actor, if you're a real actor, you have to act. And if they're not going to, acting in auditions is a chance to act, but with the whole self tape thing, it's kind of whatever. Like
Yeah.
like getting a real opportunity to act, you
Hmm.
have to just go act. You have to
Yeah.
get cameras and you got to act. And that phone that you carry around is a camera.
Yes.
So just go act,
Wow.
go make
That's
something.
man, very well said, man. It was so good to talk to you, man. That's
Great to
awesome.
talk to you, Jeremiah.
You're dropping
What
gems.
a
Absolutely.
pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much, brother. And I'm so great. I'm so glad you came out to see Saviors on the big screen. And I can't wait when it comes out in theaters for you to see it again.
Yes, I will be rewatching. I can't wait to show more people. I'm really interested to see what their thoughts are on it.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I'll talk
brother.
to you soon.
Yeah.